No? Yes. Welcome to Almost Live, a deep dive in the shallow end of Vee Morton's brain. How are you doing, V?
That was so much better. I'm good. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing good. Yeah, we discussed that a little bit there. Like I haven't yet got the tagline for this. Like for the Almost Perfect podcast, I had the tagline set. Like before the first episode, I had that thing written, and now I've like got a new show, and I haven't even thought about that. But anyway, how are you doing, V? I haven't seen you in such a long time.
I
How's Cape
know. It's awesome. I like Cape Town. I love it. Just obviously, I've only experienced a few months of it and then lockdown. But what I have experienced, I've loved it. So yeah.
Town? What have you experienced so far?
Oh wow, so many things. I did my first gig stoned out of my mind, completely stoned out of my mind. It was so much fun. It was
In
just
comparison to
like
being
that was
drunk,
a
you know,
first.
just
Oh, you lie! I've never been drunk on stage. Wow, that's low. That is so
yeah,
low.
I
How can
would,
you do
I wouldn't know. I can't tell if you're drunk or not. So
Jesus. Oh, wow. Wow, this is really boosting my ego. But yes, thanks, Bob. Um, yes. And then I did a show in a blackout. It was a blackout, and we did a show, carried on. It was really awesome. And what was the other first thing? Oh, yes, I got carried off stage by a gorilla. Yeah, so there's been
yeah,
lots
wait,
of.
what do you mean? Like, yeah, you're just gonna, yeah, carried on stage by a gorilla, just casual. What happened there? Cool.
Yeah, there's this comedian, Sophie Jones. She does like a experimental thing at one of the theaters. I think it's Alexander. I don't know, but anyway, and yeah, it's King Gong. So if everyone likes to
Okay.
have red cards, your fellow comedians in the audience are like red carding you, like every time you open your mouth. It's awesome for your ego. I can't
Oh,
tell you.
really?
And
Okay.
then yes, one day you get carried off stage by a gorilla. The gong sounds and you're off stage because your fellow comedians don't appreciate your jokes. Yes, that was
Okay.
that.
That sounds pretty brutal. But like, aren't there any audience members there to say anything, or is this just like Durban, where most of the audience is comedians?
I think on that particular night it was still sort of experimental. I haven't been back, it's kind of traumatized. So, but then there were a lot of
V,
comedians that
one
night.
second there.
But there were
Um,
audiences. Yeah.
just hold on a second there. Can you actually take the headphones and stuff out? Because I think the mic is scratching and that's it's creating a weird. Yeah.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Cool.
Okay.
So where were
All
you?
right.
What were you saying? Sorry.
I don't know. Next question. You asked me about my experiences. I
Okay,
gave
cool.
you some.
Cool. Why did you move to Cape Town? Because you were a Durban comedian for quite a long time, like probably like 8 or 9 years. And most
Yeah,
comedians,
but
when they feel like getting out of Durban, they move to Joburg. They don't go to Cape Town because even Cape Townians move to Joburg. So why did you move to Cape Town?
okay. Yeah. Okay, you must remember for a large part of that, I was a single mom, so I had
Yeah.
like those kind of responsibilities. All my decisions were made around that. And it's actually only since Jadine left that I actually, kind of really put myself into it. And I've just always wanted to come to Cape Town. So did Jadine. So it was that's why.
Hadn't she
So when
already
she
moved?
comes back from you, sorry.
Had she not gone to Cape Town originally?
She's been in USA for the past 2 years.
Oh,
Two
okay.
and a
I
half
couldn't
years.
remember where she had gone. Like, and then I thought you're going to Cape
Yeah, yeah,
Town.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Jadine's
So
down in Cape Town, but no. So you've gone down
no, but
there.
she
You're
is. She
setting a
is. She
base.
arrived. She arrived. She arrived.
Oh,
She's just in quarantine. Yes, yes. She arrived. I just haven't been able to see her yet because she's in quarantine. Well, I did see her. I saw her at a long distance and like, yeah, it was weird.
that is
First time I've
that
seen
is
my
weird.
daughter in 2.5 years. And it was like, yeah. But anyway, so
That's
she
probably
is
not the
here. She's going to be home in about a week.
Yeah, that's probably not
Yeah.
like the weirdest, way you've seen your daughter or situation you've seen your daughter in. Like your daughter's watched you do stand-up comedy. How is that experience? Because I know your jokes, they're dirty as fuck. I love that they're dirty as fuck. But I can imagine if I was in the audience watching my mom do stand-up comedy and hearing her say some of the things you say, I would be mortified. But Jadine seems to love it. She seems to enjoy your sense of humor.
Yeah, maybe we both have like evil minds. I don't know, but yeah, she's my biggest fan. So even if I suck, she would be my biggest fan. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, she's
So,
awesome.
so are you not nervous at all? Like, the first time you did comedy and she was in the audience, what was going through your mind?
Oh no, I used to practice stuff on her. Like I used to practice stuff on her. So I used to
What?
so she knew already. She knew all that stuff before you guys knew it. Like something should like go, oh, Mom, you can't say that. And then I wouldn't say it. It
But
wouldn't make
maybe some of
sense.
those you should have said. Like you should have said some of those maybe because she's sabotaging you. She's like, I can't let my mom say this. That's really funny, but I can't
No,
let like people hear my mom.
this is in the earlier days. Now, past 2 years, she hasn't been around, so I pretty much say what I want. So,
Okay. Would you would you say like your comedy has improved quite a lot in the last few years? Because I know you had like a phase like I did
well,
where
I should
like
hope.
I
I
know,
should
but you
hope.
know what? Like, do you feel like you're coming into your own? Because I feel like I had a weird phase here in Durban where, like, just because of like certain promoters and that not getting booked, and like it had an effect on my self-esteem and it had an effect on my career. It, like genuinely, and like feel like you might have faced some of the similar struggles, but in the last like couple years, you've really found, to me, like when I've watched you in Durban, it looked like you were really starting to find yourself as a comedian, and now you've gone and ventured outwards. So I have no idea where you're at.
Okay, I'll first of all, I'm going to tell you straight up, the two people that I have to thank for that is Carvin, Goldstone, and you. Okay, you were the only two people actually giving a proper platform to comedians, and there isn't a way to grow if people aren't giving you a platform. And Carvin changed the scene a lot. So did you. And I like that you're doing this. I love that you're always coming up with ideas. And I mean, I enjoyed doing that rap comedy thing with you. Fuck, that
That
was
was so
amazing.
fun. That was a really
I
fun
enjoy.
gig. Like I want to do it again.
I mean, I like working with you. I think you've got. I actually think you've got a lot of talent. I think you've got a good creative mind, and I think it's cool. I'm glad
Are we
you're
talking
doing
about you
this.
here?
Oh yeah. But so yeah, I think that if I've grown in Durban over the past couple of years, it's because of getting a platform, and then of course to me as well, Tammy.
Tammy
Sorry,
Lamini.
my name. I can't even remember people's names anymore. I feel like so far away from
Is that
Durban.
because of? I was gonna say, is that because of the old age or because of the weed?
Hey,
I was gonna say, is that because of the
probably
old
because of
age or
the
the
weed.
weed? Probably because of the weed.
Probably
Are
because
you?
of both.
I was gonna say,
Both.
are you a bit worried at the moment about COVID? I know you're in the at-risk category there. That was an age joke. You're old, B. I don't know if you know this. What?
No, it's
Okay,
fine. Just
I'm taking the
feel
piss, but
that you know.
I do want to get into what was it like starting stand-up comedy like late in your life? What age did you get into it? Because you were fairly old when you started it, and like I thought I was pretty late into it. I started comedy like in like when I was like maybe 24, I think. So I was like, damn, I'm so old in comparison to like other people. And then you come along, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like we're good. So yeah, what was that like? And what made you try it? Like, did you have those doubts of being like, I'm too old for this, I
Oh
can't do
my God.
this?
You know how many times I gave up comedy? I mean, I gave up. I'd do it for like
I'd
a
be there.
year and then I'd give up for a year. And then I'd do it for like a few months and give up. I gave up so many times. So, yes, of course, I had that fear. But eventually, like, I don't know, I grew into it. At some point, I was like, I don't give a fuck. So I just don't give a fuck. I don't know
But I
how to
mean,
explain it.
but like beforehand, what made you start doing comedy? Because like I can imagine being a single mom, being a bit older, you might have been like your whole life being like, I want to do stand-up comedy. I don't know if I can do this. So what made you actually go like, I can do this
This
and
is
give it a try?
this is going to sound so corny. This is the truth. Okay, I know it's going to sound corny, but my daughter was selling roses.
Okay.
How's the sound? Is it okay? Because I'm getting
Yeah.
like feedback.
I think we're all
You're
good.
right. Okay.
You might not be able to hear me properly,
All right.
but I can hear you fine.
Okay. She used to sell roses. She was at this restaurant and she saw these people doing comedy and she said, my mom must do this. And they gave her a card and then she came home and she gave it to me and said, Mom, you got to do this.
Wait, so this wasn't like a lifelong dream? Like this wasn't like
No,
a...
no. My daughter
This was
said,
like a
Mom,
dare
you
by
got
your
to do
daughter.
this.
That's
So then
amazing.
I know she just did. So I was like, "You're crazy! I've never written a joke in my life. I don't know how to do it." And then like and that was back. It was what's his name, Cole or something. Yeah.
Oh yes. I remember him.
So that was how, and then I met Tyson, and it was kind of along there that it all started. But my first joke was when I phoned him, and he said, "Okay, well, send me a joke." So I was like, "Okay, whoa," and
That was great timing.
I sent him a joke, and that was it. And that's how it started. I never ever thought I was going to do it ever,
It's so funny
and I
that he
love
made you
it.
send him a joke. But so like a large portion of your comedy career is because of your daughter, Jadine. Like she gave you the inspiration in the first place. She pushed you. And then now
Dude,
she's your
I
like testing partner. She like comes and supports your shows. She
know.
really is your biggest fan. That's like it's so amazing. Like that you like
It's corny. It's so cheesy. That's so
it's not
cheesy.
though.
I'm sorry, but
It's
that's the
no,
way it
because
is. Yeah.
how many kids are embarrassed of their parents? How many kids, like how many famous comedians, their own kids would be like, no, like don't, like I don't want to hear this. Like, no, you should never do that. And your daughter is the reason why you even have a comedy career. That's amazing.
Shut. That's true. Shut up,
So,
Kitty.
so how have you been adjusting to things at the moment? What is the situation for you? And one of the things I do want to mention to people, if you're watching live, there is a link below somewhere here. It should say support or contribute to Busker. And that's just a link you can go through you can just donate a bit of money and I'll be splitting that with each guest each week on the podcast. So at the end of the week, however many people have donated and put some money towards the kitty, put it into the Busker basket, that will be split between V and myself because I know things have been affecting me pretty badly. My income's been hit pretty hard. And so that's why I'm doing all these extra things to try and increase that. And I'm sure how things going for you, V?
Yeah, it's different. It's different. I don't know how to look, I've always been a bit of a social distancer, so it didn't affect me in the beginning. Like, really, I was like, this is my life.
Yeah, just another
But
day.
as time goes by and you start seeing the effect that it has on people, it gets tough, so yeah.
And in terms of work and stuff like that, and in terms of comedy gigs and things like that, are you missing being on stage? Like, what's the situation there?
Oh my God, I don't even know if I can remember how to comedy. Like, But I remember, is it like
The
riding
fir-
a bicycle? Like, no, of course I miss it. I miss it. But I mean, like,
the first gig back though is
yeah.
going to be so bad. Like could you just imagine like how like bad everyone's jokes are gonna be because they're just gonna be coming with material that's not being tested at all. Like maybe one or two tweets here and there, or maybe put something on Facebook, maybe got some likes on Instagram, and now like coming on stage with these untested jokes about Corona, and everyone's just upset already. Like they're just overhearing this stuff. The first like we got to do them because we got to get those gigs out of our system, but I don't really want to be at a comedy club for like the first few like months after Corona. A, because I don't want to get Corona again, and B, I just don't want to hear everyone's
Yeah,
jokes.
well, sure.
But have you been writing at the moment?
Yes and no. It's, as you say, it's very hard writing when you are not,
There's nowhere to go to do
testing
it.
it.
Cause so you're one of
Yeah.
those people that likes to like write a joke and get on stage immediately, like, and just like get it out there. Cause I know some people like like the second they've got like an idea in their brain, they just like let me go talk about it on stage. And others are like, okay, let me try and craft this at home and get it correct, get the wording right, and then like take it on stage.
Oh gosh, I don't know. A bit of both, really. I don't have much of a system, honestly. Really.
I like the honesty. What is your writing process like? Do you just come up with ideas and then put them in a voice note, or like do you sit down and go,
I
I'm gonna
don't
write a
know.
joke
Like,
now?
I do try, and I have tried sitting down, and there's a couple of things that I have written that I don't really like. But like sometimes I'll be taking a shower, and then like this idea pops in my head, and then I'll go and quickly write it down, and then and it's always at an inopportune moment, so it's playing in my head the whole day until I get a chance to
You're
go
lucky that
back and write it out properly.
You're lucky that you like it sticks
like,
around.
yeah, well, no, not all of them. I mean, God, some of them you're like, shit, I didn't write it down quick enough, and then you forget.
I know
But
like I
if
would
I
be the
write it
world's greatest
down,
I would be the world's greatest comedian if it wasn't for all the ideas that I forgot before I could write them down. Like that's my excuse. But that's
yeah.
always like the biggest like problem, because that's a large portion of being a comedian. It's a large portion of what we do, is like literally just think. And sometimes those thoughts are funny and you go, you know what, maybe someone else will find this thought funny. But it's the worst like when you're trying to sleep and you're like, I assume other comedians get it too, like where you imagine yourself on stage and you start doing a set and you start like just telling jokes and you start thinking about stuff and you start thinking of funny things and you're like, I'm about to go to sleep, but now I have to like write this down. I've now got like, that's the next half hour to hour of my life gone. But at the same time, I've now got material. So it's like weighing up my love of sleep versus, the audience. And my love of sleep usually wins. So, but cool. So that does bring us to the end here of Almost Live. I want to thank you for your time, Vee. Where can people find you on the internet, and in Cape Town, where are the comedy venues that you usually perform at when we're allowed to?
Well, when we're allowed to, gosh, I don't know. Trench Town is one of the gigs running. There's Cape Town Comedy Club, and there's quite a few venues. Hey, you really should have prepared me for that. Vee Morton on Facebook.
I just want to. Okay.
Yes.
You're also on Twitter, but like, do people like you don't really use it that much?
I don't. Yeah, I know you like Twitter. I'm trying to get used to it, but yeah.
I can't stand Facebook. It's just I appreciate Twitter's character limits. I think that is a big benefit to everyone involved, because Facebook just people write essays and I'm just like, you should have put this much effort in school and you wouldn't have so much time for Facebook. But that is it. That brings us to the end of Almost Live. like I said, you can check out the links below if you want to support the podcast and the show and V and myself. And yeah, I will include links to V's social media as well, so you can go and check her out. Thank you very much, V. I can't wait to see you
It's a
again.
pleasure.
I'm definitely going to come to Cape Town and do some
Yeah.
comedy. Not as soon as I'm allowed to. Not as soon as I'm allowed to. Shortly afterwards, once my jokes are good, then I'll come and bring them down to Cape Town and Joburg. But thank you, and yeah, thank you to everyone that joined us tonight and who is joining us not humorously, but afterwards when it's not that live. Later.
Okay.